Hello, internet. A few weeks ago, I made some fried chicken for fun.
Shut my corn, that is delicious.
You guys saw it on Instagram and demanded the recipe. These are some of the requests. Please share because the rest of my life is in shambles and fried chicken is all I have to live for. I think that's a cry for help. It's definitely a cry for fried chicken. Talk to me about how you get that craggy perfection. I can tell you all about that if you stay tuned. Like, why bother? This person just said share. _Gabby just said that's sexy. It is sexy, Gabby. It has all these little nooks and crannies, so I drizzle on a little honey butter, which seeps into all the little bits, and then sprinkle a spice blend, and the spice blend sticks onto the chicken because of that sticky honey butter. It's inspired by the greatest fried chicken, Popeyes. This is actually my husband's recipe, but he's told me he's okay with me sharing it with the world. Just don't tell anyone else. I basically just stole his recipe. Just wait and see, it's gonna be amazing. Legs and thighs, wings, obviously, and then the breast I cut up into 4, so they're all kind of the same size. For the marinade, we're gonna do a very basic buttermilk marinade. Buttermilk, hot sauce. These are gonna both season and tenderize the meat. A little garlic powder and onion powder, and a few cranks of black pepper. Now for the salt, if you're gonna marinate your chicken overnight, season it till it tastes good. If you're gonna marinate it for a shorter amount of time, then you're gonna just need to hit it up a little bit more than that. And the chicken's going in, and this guy is gonna hang out in here and we're gonna revisit her later. I love fried chicken with honey. I can't have my fried chicken without honey. It's gonna be the sticky drizzle that goes on top of the fried chicken. It gives a little sweetness, which balances up the heat that we're gonna get from our spice dust, and also there's some heat in the marinade. It's a really small amount of honey, but you wanna put it in a bigger pot than you think you're gonna need because it's gonna foam up quite a bit. I really like it at this nutty brown stage. I'm gonna add just a splash of water. Ooh. Just to add back some of that moisture we just lost. So now it's gonna still have the texture of honey. I'm gonna add a little butter now. I turned off the heat when I added the water so it wouldn't hiss at me too badly. But I'm turning it back on now just briefly to melt the butter into it, and then the drizzle's all set. Butter's all melted, drizzle's all set. So yeah, we're making our chili dust. Right now I'm toasting my dried Kashmiri red chili peppers and arbol chilies. They've been mostly deseeded already. This is a great combo because you get a lot of heat from the arbols and fruitiness from the Kashmiris. So I just toast them lightly until they're gonna start to feel a little warm, be aromatic, and it's a bit more pliable. And I'm gonna set these aside now. So now I'm toasting just a little bit of star anise, cinnamon, and red cardamom. This is just the inner seeds, not the husk. And now once they've had a little heat, I'm gonna add cumin and Szechuan peppercorns. My spices are toasted, and I'm going to grind them up. I'm gonna put my mushroom powder in here too. I use the mushroom powder because it just gives a little bit of savory MSG, kind of that thing that's in Doritos that makes you want to keep eating them. So now I've got my chicken dust. We're ready to go. Now we're ready to fry. I have my chicken that's marinated overnight. Here I have some double O flour that I season with a little bit of salt. My oil is preheated to 325 degrees. I prefer to do a shallow fry. I really like it when the chicken sits on the bottom of the cast iron and gets really black and mahogany in certain places. I prefer my chicken to have lots of little nooks and crannies and crunchies. So the best way to get that is to dribble a little bit of this buttermilk marinade right into your flour. It gets it really clumpy, and then those clumps form little craggly bits all over your chicken. Double O flour is very finely ground. It doesn't absorb moisture as much as bread flour or all-purpose flour, which makes it fry up extra crisp and stay crisp. Take your time with each piece, then shake it off. Okay, dropping it in. I have one hand that I keep for my wet stuff, so this is my hand that I go into the buttermilk, and then this is my hand that I touch the flour with, and that prevents it from turning into just like one big clump on your fist. So I also like to fry my thighs and legs together, and then I fry the breast and wings together. Breast and wings are gonna fry up a little bit faster than the legs and thighs, so it's nice to break them up like that. The other benefit of frying at a lower temp like this is I don't even have to check the internal temperature. Once it's a dark golden brown, it's always done in the middle because it takes so long. Ooh, these are gonna be really good. Look at that. Do you see how good this came out? Ooh, look at that. So once the chicken is golden brown, I like to move it to a tray with a paper towel to absorb the oil. I'm gonna season it right away with some salt on both sides. So once it's drained just for a moment on the paper towels, I like to move it over to a tray. Putting it on a tray with a rack gives a little bit of circulation underneath so it doesn't just steam and get soggy. I've got my sticky honey drizzle. And then I sprinkle on the spice, and it's gonna stick to all those little nooks and crannies that we fried up.
Hey y'all! Here's fast and good. I brought waffles.
You brought waffles?
Hit me.
I'm glad you could make it.
Shut my corn that is delicious. I approached that with zero chill.
Should I have a waffle?
Wow.
I mean, you brought them.
Eat it like a taco?
Yeah, eat it like a taco. It's so crunchy.
Sweet mother, God, that's crunchy. What did you do? Chicken.